All right. Well, welcome to our final Thrive in 25 webinar series for this year. It's reclaiming yourself from perfectionism to healthy boundaries. I am so happy to introduce Nicole Smith Levay with her fancy title, which she can share with you. But she is a transformational retreat leader and somatic coach. And I just want to anecdotally share how I met Nicole and how she has helped change my life. I met her through my podcast, Brave Women at Work, and it was through a PR agency who made, I would say, a pretty amazing and divine connection. And I had Nicole on the show and we got off famously, and I said, I need to work with you. So I have personally worked with Nicole for
2 years,
3 years, somewhere in there. And it has really helped me understand my nervous system, have tools that I can turn to preventatively more, and also when I'm under stress. And I'm really excited for you to hear what Nicole has to say, because many folks that struggle with perfectionism and or holding boundaries may just overwork or use other coping tools and strategies that are not super healthy. So Nicole's going to help kind of reroute us and give us maybe a new way, a new operating system that we can work within. So I'm going to be your moderator today. And so I will be manning the chat. So please feel free to put any questions in and we'll address them probably towards the end, because I know that Nicole has a full agenda here. But if you have any other questions, I will be on mute, but I'll be answering the chat and doing any moderation. So Nicole, I'll turn it to you.
Thank you so much, Jen. And thank you all so much for being here. That was a lovely introduction. Yes, I am a transformational retreat leader and somatic coach. And I specifically help high achieving women who are in high pressure environments stop overgiving on autopilot by tuning into their body and their breath and getting out of their head. And I also help them connect more with pleasure and purpose, and revitalizes their energy and sometimes even resurrects their purpose work. So I am so grateful to be here with all of you. What I have on the agenda for today is part educational, but part experiential. So even if you're at your office, or I see some of you have your camera off, I feel like you'll take away something from today. And I always say, take what works and leave the rest. But before we begin, even the word perfectionism, just notice what arises in your body. And I just want to invite you, before we begin, to take 2 to 3 exhales. Good. And as you're remembering to exhale, our body remembers to inhale pretty well because that helps us survive. Sometimes we need a little support and help to fully exhale. So as you fully exhale here, I want you to think of some words. Try these on for size. Soften. Exhale, soften. Exhale, yield. Exhale, release. Good. Thank you for doing that with me. You don't have to be anything other than you here now. No performance, no extra, no tension necessary. We're just going to flow through this experience together. You may know some phrases that feel familiar, like fake it till you make it, or hustle harder. Anyone know those? Don't let them see you sweat. It speaks to a kind of collective soup we all operate in, whether it's in career, corporate, or even the field I come from, professional athletics. I'll tell you a little bit about my story in a second. But what I hope this talk will do for you today, and I trust it will on some level, is it will reveal how perfectionism actually depletes us. It can lead to burnout, and how boundaries are more than saying yes and no. They're actually energetic tools that will restore us to wholeness and a more integrated state. Does that sound good? Does that sound like something we all need? Good. A not so fun fact, but a jarring statistic: 75% of working professionals report feeling burned out by Mental Health America. 75%. So I don't even have to ask, like, who here resonates with burnout? It's 90% of working mothers, right? So while over-efforting might be rewarded in some aspects of our life, sometimes it's on autopilot and subconscious, and it's actually eroding our energy and creativity and joy. One time on a call, I think with Jen or someone from this group, it was Jen, I said that pain and pleasure, or stress and pleasure, can't coexist at the same time in our nervous system, right? So that's what we're going to play with today, is ways where we can flip the switch from when we're feeling stressed or when we're feeling that pain and tension of drive and pressure into more of a curious, compassionate, open inquiry space. And if you resonate with any of this, like I said, you're in the majority. So we're all friends here. I've overcome burnout twice. What's the saying? Fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. Wait, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And that's why I do this work. So let's go on here. What does perfectionism sometimes look like? It's more than a philosophy, right? It might be something called masking. So, we may be showing up feeling low energy or feeling nervous, but yeah, we kind of cover up that emotional truth to stay professional. It might limit how much we're able to breathe and stay present. We move beyond our limits, whether that's mentally, emotionally, or physically. We over effort to achieve and prove something. We may internalize unrealistic expectations, like a comment or something that was made to us, like, may become an internal doctrine that we strive towards. Or we're constantly or chronically self-monitoring with a fear of getting it wrong. So I just kind of dove into the vulnerability of this. Do any of these paths or things that I just brought up resonate with some of you? A nod, or yeah. And this is not just in, again, corporate or career. My story, here's me 12 or 15 years ago. I achieved the top 1% of professional athletes in the modern dance world. I was being paid to not only dance around the world, which I'm very grateful for that opportunity, but also set historic pieces of famous choreographer here you see in the corner, Bill T. Jones. And while a lot of it was soul enriching and fulfilling, and I love to dance, I also was ignoring a lot of cues my body was giving me. I was overriding my pressure, just like that last screen said. I was masking even when I felt like I couldn't show up fully. And it led to chronic panic attacks, anxiety, and depression. And it was at this point that I stumbled into what is known as somatics. So I went from taking, your traditional yoga classes at a yoga studio to finding different active breathwork and meditation modalities that help me actually find presence and a meditative state. And I also started to recognize that my body wasn't just holding, I'm sure you've all heard the book, The Body Keeps the Score, or The Body Holds Trauma, which is true. But the body also holds the resiliency to find joy, find pleasure, find creativity. And there was a way in which my body was doing this almost unconsciously to survive. I would do these compassionate, curious, improvisational dances to help myself calm down and regulate. And I didn't realize at the time that that was connected with somatics. So I know this is a lot of jargon, but we're going to get to more of application that you can use too. I just want you to know, I know when we're talking about your body, your breath, and your energy, it's like the three most intimate things. Most times people don't share that information except with maybe their most intimate loved ones, like in the bedroom, right? So I recognize the honor and privilege it is to speak on all this, and I want you to trust that I have the credentials to back it up. So I have a master's degree in somatic psychology, which was focused in counseling through body-based ways, trauma-sensitive ways. I've hosted transformational retreats all over the world. Some of the folks I met last year at Climb Conference came to Greece with us. It was an amazing time. We have Montana and Mallorca, Spain coming up. And I have over 1,000 hours of training in trauma sensitive yoga, meditation, and breath work. So I feel really good that I'm living my own purpose work, gets me out of bed in the morning, that I can help at least one woman a day not go through the helplessness, stress, and pressure that panic attacks and anxiety and depression can bring into a woman's life. I'm also an international best-selling author. I wrote an essay about how I never gave my body credit for how smart it was, doing all of those curiously compassionate improvisational dances that truly kept me alive. It's called Just Keep Moving. It was an international best-selling book, and we're coming up on a second one with some of the women from my community, which I'm really excited about. It'll be out in November. So, yes, you may have read in the description about this talk that, well, first of all, I just want to keep coming back to releasing the tension that comes with the shame and stigma of perfectionism, because the statistics show that it's more of us than not, and it's not all personally created. Okay. There are collective systems at place through history that have kind of marginalized folks who don't get on board with the more like correct, militant, controlled environments. And so we're all kind of swimming in that soup, so to speak. Also, there's familial tendencies, right? Like if you had a caregiver or a sibling who tended to be more that way, you may have picked up some traits that way. So I want you to take off the backpack of burden that you have caused all of this to yourself. And while we can recognize our role in our own pain and suffering, a lot of it was passed down to us unconsciously. So the question is, will you pass it on? And that's why I call my work Power Within Healing, because it's truly about the agency and choice we have. Once we start to awaken, we really can't go back to sleep. So once you start to awaken that your body and breath can either aid in your healing or hold your healing back and increase your pain and suffering, you have a choice to move and spiral upward. Okay, so let's spiral upward together, shall we? I love this quote, Stephen Hawking. One of the basic rules of the universe is nothing is perfect. Perfection simply doesn't exist. Without imperfection, neither you or I would exist. So just breathe that in a little bit. Nothing is perfect, truly. And sometimes it's the expectation of that pressure that keeps us stuck. And we're actually more in flow than we believe. And how you can practice this yourself is, again, compassionate inquiry. It's the number one antidote to perfectionism and burnout. What is compassionate inquiry and curiosity that you keep talking about, Nicole? Well, we started with it right at the top. So first we pause and we slow down. Sometimes perfectionism arises because there's this like internal ticker in us that's driving us to go faster, do more. And to kind of divest from that, we pause. We notice that our body is sending us signals. Right in this moment, what do you notice? What sensations are arising? Could be a tightness, a tingling, a temperature. Maybe you don't notice a sensation, but you're noticing some passing thoughts, or even a feeling state of some place. But basically, compassionate inquiry is taking our looking eyes and our listening ears and turning them inward. So if you just do that with me, a little dance for a second. If you had your looking eyes and listening ears outward, just want you to take your hands now and turn them inward and place them on your heart or your stomach or anywhere on your body that feels comforting to you. I just want you to take a few deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And this is simply called tracking. You're just tracking your present moment experience. At any point during any day when you're feeling overwhelmed, not enough, you're noticing emotions like anger, jealousy, judgment of yourself or others, track. Come back to yourself, take a few deep breaths. and just feel. I wrote down the phrase strategic pause is the new power move. Because slowing down is a leadership tool that I believe just isn't on trend yet. I'm usually like ahead of trends. I'm like always like the weird black sheep that like people are like, what's she talking about? But then like 5 years later, people are like, oh, like my in-laws are like, oh my gosh, all that stuff you were talking about 15 years ago, there was somebody on the nightly news. I'm like, yeah, look at that. See, we can, society's heading in a fast direction. So a lot of this work is bringing us back home, okay? Slowing us down and bringing us back home to what's really important. Now, this is just a quote from my essay, What Do I Do Now? I'd ask my body in moments of desperate need, paralyzed by what felt like some unbreakable mental state. And my body's answer was, just keep moving. So you might be confused. I thought compassionate inquiry was about slowing down and, feeling and stillness. Well, it can be for you. But for someone like me who is a very antsy athletic person, I found that compassionate, curious space through just letting my body move. So sometimes if you're feeling stuck in your head, I'm going to give you some tools today to help you just come more back into your body. These are things I do with my clients like Jen, little tricks. They all have different paths and things that work for them. Some people like to do things, with like holding an object or holding their hands in a certain mudra. Other people like to bring their attention to their legs or their spine or back body. But there's all these quick little interventions that can totally reroute you. Should I look at the chat, Jen? Let me see. I will. I clicked. Strategic pauses, the new power move. Yes. Moving shifts me too. Yes. And then you gave birth to a dancer. It makes so much sense, Shigs. You were dancing with her in your womb. Okay, let's keep going. So here, this is the science part of it. So you might be feeling more connected with your body. I like to kind of toggle back and forth between your brain and body. I know this is the title of my talk at Thrive in Chicago, so I'm not going to go too much into it. Just give you a little tease. But see on the right side, the red line. Does everyone see that there? Okay. So what this chart is I would like to normalize the moods that we all have throughout the day. Of course, moods can be caused by many things, but our nervous system is exactly that. It's nervous. It's attuned to our internal states, but our external states, it's almost like a radio frequency dial tuned in. And most of America, I don't know if everyone, where you're from, by the way. I assumed everyone is from America, but if you're from somewhere else, I'd love to hear. Please put that in the chat too. Often, an American day starts with loud alarm, jump out of bed. You see that spike upward. Have coffee just to stay motivated. You start driving somewhere, so you're already on edge because driving a vehicle is inherently somewhat dangerous. And then you get to work and you might see that black rectangle there in the chart. That's called our window of tolerance. And our window of tolerance is where we can think and feel at the same time. It's also called the window of resilience in some other lineages. So essentially it's being present. And if we're in our head, we're not actually present to the present moment. I have to say that again. If we're in our thoughts, we're not actually present with the present moment. I mean, of course, I understand there's communication. Part of your jobs and careers may be to think strategically, come up with things. But our window of tolerance is when we can think and feel at the same time without having any stress responses come up. No pain, no change in breath. We're there, we're present. As stress has eroded us over time, sometimes that window of tolerance is very, very narrow, or like in a moment, where life is throwing things at you. There's an event coming up, or your boss gave you more work, or, it's Maysember. Your window of tolerance may not feel as tolerant or resilient as it normally does. But what I want to bring your attention to on the left hand of the screen are these states called hyper and hypoarousal that we can actually direct our energy back into the window of tolerance, okay? And these are called internal energetic boundaries. So I'm going to talk more about boundaries later. Boundaries are commonly, people think they're between us and other people, and they can be. But I feel that all boundaries start within. So if you can have honesty with yourself about the stress you're holding and where you may be on that chart. Are you up in energy? Are you feeling very anxious? Are your eyes focusing everywhere? Are you feeling emotions come quickly and intensely? Or are you more at the bottom? Hypo means less. You're more shut down. You're tired. Your body feels a little frozen. And that's at the bottom of the chart. So from the bottom, we would upregulate our energy. And from the top, we would downregulate. I'm going to give you a little taste of it now, but then we're going to do the full thing in Chicago. Okay. So good. So let's say, because we're talking about stress and pressure a lot right now, I bet more of you are on the top end of your window of tolerance than the bottom, but I want you to just let your body be with where you are. If you're noticing tension upward, fine. If your eyes have a bit of strain, it's okay. Just notice what you're noticing. Be curious about that. Good. Notice your breath. Where is it sitting in your body? How shallow or deep is it? And to down-regulate, we literally bring the energy down. So if we're noticing ourselves pulling away, we're going to anchor ourselves in and down. So I'm just going to bring your attention. I'm thinking most of you are sitting in a chair. Bring your attention to your sits bones, to your low back. If your feet are on the floor, feel all 10 toes in your shoes. You can even squeeze your energy down like a sponge. So sometimes I'll squeeze from the shoulder here all the way down the arm, all the way to your hand. Shake out your arm to the other side. Or brush your hands on your lap. Brush your hands on your lap, just brush down. We already learned another down-regulating breath. Yeah, exhaling slowly. Long exhales go a long way. If there's one thing you remember from this talk, long exhales go a long way. So go ahead and just notice what you're noticing now. And take a nice physiological sigh. Let your whole body, any frustration, anything this talk is stirring up in you, just release it out on the exhale like a sweeping breath. Good. Let me check the chat. Anchor yourself in and down. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Secretary. Moderator. Now, hypoarousal, I have to admit, it's Friday. It's been a long week here. I'm class mom. The school asked me to come in at the last minute. It was Freddie's preschool prom. My son's name's Freddie, after Freddie Mercury. And I was like, this is a lot on a Friday. I've got 5 partnerships happening at once. I was feeling a little hypoaroused before the call. But I did these breaths and these movements, and I would like you to try them with me. Are you willing? These are a little sillier. Yeah? These are going to upregulate you. Can we try? Are your bosses watching you in the office there? No? Okay. Okay, good. So you're going to just go ahead and take your feet a little wider apart. If you were standing, you'd be standing in an X. But if you're sitting, and go ahead, if you can, stretch your arms out in a big X. Oh, yeah, and just lift your eyes and lift your heart. You may know this as a power pose. Yeah, and you can come in and out. Sometimes just like staying open like this may feel like, whoo, that's fire. That's a lot of energy going fast. That's okay. Come in and out, just like a flower blossoming to the side. Good. Then let it go. Notice what shifted in your gaze, maybe in your posture, your chest. Anyone notice a little lift, a little lightness? Yeah. And then there's 2 breaths I like to do. One is super energizing. So if you're already feeling like you're at your max capacity for energy, don't do the second one. But I would like you to try the first one. The first one is to just take your hands down by right underneath your heart, interlaced. Just squeeze them into your belly. We're going to make the sound ha, 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 as we throw our arms up in the air. Okay? Going to have a good laugh. So squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then I want you to release that tension and just unfurl your arms, throw them up to the sky. Ha! Good. I heard a little quiet, huh? Okay, one more. Ha! Good, 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 good. So you can imagine if you did that like 5 to 10 times before you were going into a meeting that you were dreading and you were feeling a little shut down and unmotivated, it might get you to just, I'm here. I'm here to listen. I'm here. I'm breathing. I'm present. I'm in my window of tolerance. Another one is breath of joy. So if you've ever seen Tony Robbins, this one, if you need a little bit, let's do 5 and just take a deep breath. You actually pull the energy down into your lap. So you reach up with straight hands, flex your fingers, exhale, let your elbows drop in. Good. Just do that 5 times. Good. And inhale, stretch. Feel your whole body squeeze. Exhale, shake it out. Shaking is also down and up regulating. So that's called the breath of joy, that one. So how's everybody feeling? Let's see in the chat or give me thumbs up. Do you see how you can work with your own energetic boundaries to shift your state when you're feeling the pressure and tension of perfectionism? Great. Good. I love the thumbs up. Tell the dog to take a deep breath. Did I say that? Oh, the dog is concerned. Yes, I find that the animals at people's homes, when I do sessions, they're really curious. They either are like, why am I not doing this? Or they like want to cuddle up. They want to do it with you. It's very primal, all these things we're doing. The ha's had him on edge. Shake it out. Breath of joy. Okay, good. I'm at home and my cat is not judging me, so I'm good. Yes. And the cat energy is a little bit more subtle, like all this stuff we're talking about. So I hope you can see when your nervous system is supported, you make clearer decisions, right? You might feel in this moment, okay, I'm more clear-headed. You recover faster from feedback or stress because you interrupt that loop, right? I'm sure you all have heard that an emotion really only lasts a few seconds. Truly. It starts as like a sensation or a perception. You feel an emotion, but then different thoughts and beliefs layer on top of it. And then it can become a feeling state that lasts a long time. But when you use these somatic and embodiment tools, you kind of interrupt that before the spiral begins. And when your nervous system is supported, you can lead with presence, not pressure. So I know for a lot of the amazing women I've met through this organization, they're in positions of management and leadership. They're feeling pressed from all sides. And what it has given them that they've shared is just a bit of space and time and agency. So when they feel very pulled, like literally, if you think about how your body feels when you're pulled in all directions, it's given them the power within them to come back to them first and foremost. They know that they lead better from that place. And then you actually create psychological safety for others too when you're feeling more present. Bonus. So yes, as we continue, boundaries are between us and other people, but I believe that they start internally first. I hope you walk away with that today. But they also can be external. And sometimes as women, we were taught that our worth and value was in how much we give, even at sacrificing our own well-being. And so there's sometimes a middle place between yes and no. Like people know when it's a heck yes and they know when it's a heck no, but there's often a lot of gray area. And that's where somatics and developing your embodiment tools, your authentic expression can really come in handy to navigate those gray areas, because then you feel that you have more choice. You're giving yourself more choice and agency of how close or distant a stressful, pressureful person, situation, behavior is for you. Okay. So we might play with that a little bit. I'm doing okay on time, right? I think so. Jen's like, I have no idea. When did we start? 33 minutes ago. Okay, perfect. Pause me at any time. But here are some like useful tips and boundaries that, again, are not just energetically internal, but they may change how you behave around others. And I would say that that's a good thing. If you're on here and you're feeling depleted and you're feeling shame or critical of yourself, I want you to challenge yourself, leave this call and try 2 new things on this list. Okay. I love to share keeping the phone out of the bedroom. A client of mine who I worked with 10 years ago, and then she came back recently because her business became so successful, she needed help scaling, but primarily she was coming to me because somatically she had insomnia and she had never had it before. She wasn't sleeping through the night. And she had tried like all the traditional things. She went to her doctor, got medication. She even got into the essential oil diffusers. She tried like to be really rigid and regimented with her wake up and bedtime. But we needed to implement other behaviors and other practices that shifted her body in the bedroom. So the energy of the bedroom was calming enough so she could sleep. But one of the primary behaviors that made a huge shift was taking her phone out of the bedroom, because she was constantly checking the messages from clients, rescheduling their 5 a.m. Pilates appointment. She'd wake up and check it. How much time do I have left? Does that resonate with anybody who has insomnia? Just moving the phone out of the bedroom into her bathroom. That's where it charges. She got a beautiful sunrise alarm clock. She doesn't have insomnia anymore. We also did some somatic de-escalation techniques to calm her down before bed, but quick fix for some of you. If you're having trouble sleeping at night, try that. Also, prioritizing movement and exercise. We remember this with our animals and our small children, but as adult women, it's like somehow always on the back burner. I always talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and the foundation is our physical health. So, we're all multi-talented, passionate women who do a lot of things, help a lot of people. You only have one body. So also, if there's one other thing you walk away with today besides long exhales go a long way, prioritize, even if it's just walking every day for 10 to 15 minutes, okay? Having boundaries with work on the weekend, asking for help when you feel sad or overwhelmed. A lot of what I'm talking about today is you with you, but there's so much healing that comes from you and others connecting honestly and vulnerably like we're doing here on Zoom the best we can today. So sometimes a boundary might look like asking for help, even though you can do it all yourself, that you need more help. And being clear with your schedule and limiting your foods and only checking social media twice a day. Let's see what the chat says. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, screenshot this list. So one last little practice here. We're getting towards the end, but I want to give you tools that take less than 3 minutes and can be done with your eyes opened. Okay. And so speaking of boundaries, often I feel like situations, conversations, people in our lives, relationships, sometimes they feel more solid than they actually are. Like if we're having a problem with something, it's like it feels immovable, not changeable. When actually, if we shift our energy around it, it's kind of magic. Maybe Jen can attest to this. Mindset is great. Mindset goes very far. I always say in my coaching, it's 3 parts. 1 part vision, 1 part mindset, but the other part is energy. And so sometimes if we're feeling really bogged down and pressured by, again, a situation or a relationship, we can shift our own energy state around it, and it shifts the whole thing. The whole thing improves by us taking control of our own energy there. So you can have your eyes open. Try not to be distracted now. We don't need any notes for this part. I hope the dog will approve. This one's real calm. You could do it with your dog, Shigs. But I want you to feel, again, just come back to your present state. Be curious what you're noticing. You can have your hand on your heart if you like, or just take a few deep breaths. And actually, if you're tired of closing your eyes, you might just look around in your space and see what draws your attention and brings you like a good feeling or a neutral feeling, if not a good feeling. We've been focusing a lot on ourselves, so we're actually going to first expand our awareness. So as you feel your body, stay connected to your legs, your spine, but almost as if you've seen Wicked, Glinda's little bubble of energy. We all have them around us. I want you to feel that energy bubble with your nice deep breath now can widen. So if it's 1 foot outside of you, your next deep breath, it's going to expand 2 feet in either direction. Up, down, left, right, front and back. Just keep breathing. And in this bubble, you feel safe. You feel soft, yielded, released. Totally present, just you. Good. And to help to that end, I want you to imagine now things, people, behaviors that help you feel resourced and nourished. They give you good vibes, good energy. And I want you to feel like see where they are. Are they with you at the edges of your bubble? Are they in the bubble with you? I just want you to really breathe in that good love, care, support. Breathe in support. Breathe out stress. Breathe in nourishment. Breathe out neglect. Breathe in nurturing. Breathe out pressure. Good. So here you are, expanded and resourced. And so now we'll bring up something that's just one thing, not the most stressful thing in your life right now, but something that's been a little troublesome or problematic, been a little confusing for you. You don't know if it's a yes or no, somewhere in between. Just notice how your breath changes as I bring that up. And we're going to put it on the outer edge of our bubble. I like to call it the later shelf. Okay. And so temporarily, you're going to create space between this problematic thing, troublesome thing, and you. So for the next few rounds of breath, every inhale, you fill, you maintain that beautiful bubble of love, nurturing support. On the exhale, you let that pressure sweep it away. Whatever that situation, person, they're going up on the later shelf. Okay, and just repeat this 4 or 5 times. Again, your eyes can be open. Feel it sweep through your body. Just carry it away on the wind. Boop, put it on the shelf. A few more times. Feel how it's disconnecting you from that pressure, that stress, that situation. Breath by breath. 2 more. And you can even bring back a classic from Vegas. You can even take your arms out now and just press it away towards that shelf. So you feel like, I'm here in my bubble. I'm okay. I'll get back to you later in my time. Good. Shake it out. Release your arms. And just notice the space that's actually cut or separated the stress from within you to a later date and time. It's not saying no forever. It's no for right now. Just needs some time and space, a little break. Good. Yeah, you may yawn as your nervous system relaxes. Yes, if you've been running on autopilot and more in that hyper aroused state when you do these sort of mindfulness based activities, you may notice a lot of yawning or, yeah, just like organic movement. Just let your body do what it wants to do. I always think of, if you've ever seen the video of a predator and prey, and you just watch they're nonverbal because they're animals, but the prey sees the predator coming towards it and it freezes and it holds tension. Sometimes perfectionism is like that in our body. We're just like perpetually in this state of like half frozen. The prey freezes because it's like going to play dead. It hopes that the predator doesn't come over to it. Predator sniffs. Okay, I guess it's dead. Predator goes away. When the predator goes away, the prey doesn't stay frozen. And that's the difference between animals and humans. Sometimes after a stressful or traumatic event, we stay frozen. We keep replaying it because, again, the thought has begun to loop to a belief, to a feeling state. What the animal does, the animal stands up, right? The bird shakes its wings, the fox shakes its tail, the bunny shakes its tail, and then it hops and runs away. So I want you to shake it off, whatever that thing was that you put up on the later shelf. Yeah, just this is the moment. Shake your shoulders, shake your seat. And just like you expanded your bubble outward, I want you to come back inward now. So focusing is how we began today. Just come back to that compassionate curiosity as I continue tracking in and down. I want you to notice your head, your shoulders, your heart, your spine, your low back, your legs. Just take a few deep breaths. Good. So I hope this has empowered you. And as we move onward, whether it's after this talk or maybe we will meet again in Chicago at the Thrive Conference, I want you to, hold these questions in your heart and be okay with not having direct answers. That kind of curious open space often is where, the true miracles and joys and unexpected serendipities and pleasure come into our lives. But, what do we need to feel most like ourselves? All my clients are different, but do more things that engage your physical body and your focus and your breath at one time. What do you value? What do you want to move forward? What do you want to be a part of? What story do you want to be a part of? And lastly, often I help women navigate the alignment between this and what they're doing as a career. But sometimes it's just about bringing more of the play, the pleasure, the creativity, the joy alongside what we're doing too. So we realize we're more than what we do for work. That's the common question we're always asked, right? What do you do? It's like, what do I be? I'm me. What lights you up? What brings you joy? And how can we prioritize that? So again, takeaways from today. I hope you remember long exhales go a long way. Your body is actually a resource and your best friend. While yes, it can hold some stress and pressure, it can just as much hold joy and pleasure and creativity. And really connecting with your embodiment, I believe, is true authentic leadership. And right now, I just feel like we need more and more women not forgetting that. Actually remembering it, member your body together, integrate it. You have the power within you. How can we do this? This is, after working with high achieving women in all different fields for 10 years, I was like, I think I should make a method to my madness. So I'm not just some kooky lady talking about your shaking. So I call it the embodied purpose process. If you can learn skills to ground down and slow down first, then you can really go deeper with these energy practices around boundaries, internal and external. Then you hear the call and often you answer the call. There's like some bigger mission purpose that helps you feel more complete and whole, that you have less regrets and you feel more like yourself. And then we move into momentum. So life is flowing. Then we get to revisit all of these stages. We do this through my program, Forward Momentum, but also in my talk at Thrive Conference, we'll be going through these stages. So in closing, you're allowed to redefine what enough means. I want you to say yes to yourself first. And when you feel like you're pushing through, you're willpowering through from your head, remember to lead from your body, not just your mind. I really believe that this movement back towards the body is a sustainable one. I don't think it's a trend. I feel like it's really important for the direction leadership is moving. And healthy boundaries really create the conditions for your brilliance to emerge. I love this quote by Deepak Chopra. Once you know who you really are, being is enough. You feel neither superior nor inferior to anyone, and you need no need for approval because you've awakened to your own infinite worth. So what if your job is not to strive or to be some version of you that you're not, but just to remember who you truly are, and that is enough. So thank you so much for having me. Of course, before we wrap, I want to make space for Jen to share more about the incredible work that she has done with Hope and Stephanie and Jackie and the entire team and all these amazing speakers and all of you incredible women that inspire me every day. I'm so excited. If you're not coming, why not? Come. Jen, you want to unmute? Thank you all.
Yes, thank you so much. Wasn't that wonderful? Hopefully, why don't we give some like high fives, some hearts, some like, some whatever you want to give emoji for Nicole. I just think it was lovely. It definitely put me in a better state. Oh, look at all the hearts you're getting. Look at all the hearts. It's so sweet. Okay.
Thank you. I'm gonna pop my email in the chat. Is that okay?
Yeah.
If anybody has any questions, comments,
Yes, feel free to reach out. So I'm here to just end with the Thrive in 2025 Women's Conference. It's coming up here in just a few short weeks. Some of you are in the Chicago area, and we would love to have you. So if we can advance.
Oh, me?
Yes. Okay, we got this. So when you attend our conference, it's different than other conferences that I've personally attended, and I think many of the ladies on. It's going to give you some post-conference support so you can reach your career goals. So we're going to be focusing our talks, our training on leadership tools and education. We're all about network. So as Nicole learned like 3 years ago, like once we bring her in, like she just is part of our family now. So like you're all going to be part of our community, which is just so fun. We've built relationships. We've done business together. Like it's been really cool. Nicole will be at the conference doing her good work. And so that's why we have Rested and Renewed. Dr. Vasu is going to be there. And so there's a lot of good stuff that's coming at the conference. And then we're going to be doing post-conference accountability coaching with yours truly so that you're inspired to take action. So all good stuff and all included in our conference that's coming up. So let's move to the next slide. So here's the value. We kind of were like, what is the value? So the conference itself, it's 2.5 days. It's in Glenview, so it's not in the city and hard to get to. It's about 20 minutes from O'Hare Airport if you're not in the area. If you are in the area, you know it's right off the highway. We're going to have 6 months of group coaching. Then the last two things I want to mention are her C-Suite membership, which is a women's networking platform. So I have to give a shout out to Natalie Benamou, who is the founder and CEO of that. She's connected a lot of us. So there are a lot of good connectors on the line here. So she is offering that for a year. And then Innovation Women, giving a shout out to none other than Bobby Carlton, who I think is in the house here live. And it has many businesses. She can tell you when you meet her, but she also runs Innovation Women, which is a women's speaker bureau. She wants to get as many women on stages as possible. And I think that is admirable. So, and she said howdy in the chat. So total value is over 3,000, but we're not charging that. We're trying to make this as accessible as possible. So the 3-day or the 2.5 day is $14.97. And an initial payment of $500 is all it takes to register. Let's move to the next slide. I think we've got more here, but I do want to mention one other thing about the conference. So we decided as we've been going along, you can attend the whole conference or you can attend one day. So if you want to come only for one day, you're like, yep, budget's still tight. Jen and Nicole, like it's still a little bit much. You can attend one day. You can pick. It's $575 for just one day if you'd like to join us. And so to learn more and to register, visit thrive-in25.com. And we are cutting off, Jackie or Steph, if you can put it in the notes. I think we're going to have to end registration around like June 18th, 19th, somewhere in there. And seats are filling. So if you would like to join us, we would love to have you. So any question, it closes on the 17th, Jackie said, and Jackie knows all. She is a Thrive in 2025 Oracle. She is. So any questions for Nicole? I'll turn it back to her. Any questions or comments? We have a pretty small group, so feel free to unmute if you have any questions for her directly in our last few minutes, or you can put them in the chat.
Yeah, and I also popped my email and social media handles there in the chat as well. I'd love to learn more about you, hear what you're working on, what you're working through. Anything that you want to remember from today? My clients know I always say, what's a takeaway? Just helps us like remember, reinforce things. What are you taking away from today?
I'll get us started. So like in case, wait, no, we've got one. Can you please share the slide again with the reminders? The first bullet point was to remove the phone from the bedroom, ?
Yep.
So everyone take a picture of that. I don't know if you can move. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everyone take a picture.
Useful reminders, right?
Yep.
You are so welcome, Kathy. Oh, is this the Kathy Marilyn? Yes. Oh, awesome. I hope
okay, Carol got it. Okay, good.
Good.
So I'll just say my takeaway from today and from all the work that I've been doing with Hope and you and everybody is just the power of women in community. That's my takeaway for today. And you always give me good reminders of the tools. And I always feel better after hanging out with you for an hour. So thank you.
I love that.
All right. So any final comments or questions or anyone else that what they're taking away?
I would love to share a quick takeaway. So I do a lot of, there's like 8 dimensions of wellness, and I feel like I do really well with all of them except for physical. And I don't know why it's just such a challenge, probably because I'm getting older and it's just, medical things like that. But I do think like this is a reminder that that's the one I'm having a challenge with, and that's the one I need to concentrate on. So I love the reminder.
Yeah.
So I just want to share that.
Often, yes. Thank you for sharing, Carol. And often the one that's like problematic for us, and it may also become the thing we avoid the most. And then when we start to just dip our toe in, right? You don't have to go to, what's that weightlifting class that's really intense? I don't know, right? Like you're not going to go from not being active to pushing yourself, but just dipping your toe into taking walks or, finding movement that resonates with you and helps you focus and breathe deeply. You'll know that that's for you. CrossFit. Yes. I mean, I would, if any of you do CrossFit, I'm happy for you. Just saying sometimes we need to, go slow to go fast in these healing modalities. Anyone else? Thanks for sharing that. Someone said the power of breath. Yep.
Yes. that sometimes she's going to look at these, you know, and use these, but sometimes has to suspend them in the heat of closing the semester. So I know we're about at time, but I don't know if you can comment on that, because I have that too sometimes in the heat of it. Like I don't use them, or I just kind of put them on ice. So any final comments there? Because you've always said this is the time to double down.
Yeah. I think know your bitter bottom line with your energy. So like, what do you need? That first question I wrote on the contemplation slide, what do you need to feel most like you? Like that's people love to meditate when they're feeling good. They tend to avoid meditating when they're very busy, and that's when we need it the most. So it's kind of similar to what Carol was saying too, is if you can find the bottom line of like, I need this minimum to stay as present as I can, and then the rest can go on the later shelf. I would just record some things that perhaps next end of semester you may do a little differently. And then always, always, always just talk to yourself like you would talk to the person you love the most, your best friend. You got to really douse yourself in kindness and compassion when we've got a full plate. So that's what I would say in regards to that, Jen and Shigs.
All right. Well, I think we're at time. We're a minute over, and I want to be sensitive to your time. So thank you all so much for your time today. You well, and use these tools, and hopefully we'll see you at Thrive so you can hang out with Nicole.
And Jen and everyone.
Yes. And Stephanie and Jackie.
And Stephanie.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.